Welcome students. In the last class, we saw about cooking process, the reasons for cooking the food, advantages and the disadvantages of cooking, and we also saw the classification of cooking methods. Cooking methods based upon the medium used for cooking are classified into three different types as moist heat method, dry heat method, and combination method. Let us now see in detail about these cooking processes. Moist heat methods. The first and the most used method in the moist heat cooking is boiling. Boiling is cooking food by just immersing them in water at a temperature of 100 degrees centigrade and maintaining the water at that temperature till the food is tender. So this is the widely used method of cooking, and almost all the households employ boiling for cooking different types of food. When food is cooked by boiling, the food should be brought to vigorous boil first, and the heat is turned down as violent boiling throughout tends to break the food. While we cook the food by the boiling method, say for example, we are cooking rice. First thing we would do is take water in a utensil or vessel and we will bring the water to boiling temperature. And what is boiling? Boiling temperature, we don't use the thermometer to measure the temperature in our home, but instead when we see that bubbles arise from the bottom of the utensil and when steam arises from the surface of the water, we consider it as boiling. First, in the boiling method of cooking, water should be brought to the boiling temperature or when the water starts boiling in the vessel. And then the food is usually added. It can be vegetables or it can be rice or it can be dal. And after the food is added to the boiling water, after a few minutes, we bring down the temperature. The temperature is reduced. We put the stove in the sim mode so that it is not vigorously boiling, or in case we keep the food vigorously boiling throughout, the food will be overcooked. Sometimes it may break down and the required consistency of the food may not be available at the end of the cooking process. Therefore, in the beginning, you have to bring the water or whatever liquid to the boiling temperature. The food is added and then later the temperature is reduced so that the food is not broken down. So here we see how the water boils. So in this stage, food is added to the boiling water. And if the water is kept boiling, vigorously boiling, it will result in excessive evaporation of water and also there will be wastage of fuel. When the food is cooked in the vigorous boiling mode, the food may be overcooked and it may not be very palatable. It will also result in excessive evaporation of water and also waste of fuel. So this is not required. So you can bring to the vigorous boiling mode and after a few minutes, the temperature can be reduced so that the food will be cooked to the required consistency. And also, food is likely to be burnt at the bottom and they form a dry crust at the top. So the food may be burnt at the bottom, the brownish decoloration of the food which becomes dry. கீழே அடிப்பிடிச்சிருக்கு சாப்பாடு அப்படின்னு சொல்றது. And also the surface of the food becomes dry because of excessive temperature when it is vigorously boiling. Food may be boiled in any liquid such as water. Stock. Stock is nothing but the water in which the vegetables or in which the meat is cooked. So the water in which the vegetables are cooked can be used as a stock for cooking some other food. Like for example, in the preparation of a soup, stock may be used. Or milk can be used in preparation of various preparations. Juice or syrups can also be used in which food can be cooked. Food that are cooked by boiling are usually rice, egg, dal, vegetables including potatoes, meat and sago. Sago is jawarsi which we use in the preparation of kheer and payasam. Boiling can be done with excess amount of water, like we cook the eggs and the potatoes. We take plenty of water in which the egg and the potatoes are cooked. Or it can be cooked in sufficient amount of water. Say for example, while in the process of cooking rice or in the process of cooking dal or in the preparation of upma, say for example, we add adequate water. Say for example, for one portion of semolina that we use in the preparation of upma, we add 2.5 portions of water so that it is cooked to the required consistency. Similarly, while cooking rice, we add 1 cup of rice and to which we may add 2.5 or 3 cups of water so that there is no excess water, and whatever water has been added will be absorbed and the food will be thoroughly cooked. So it can be cooked in two ways, one where excess water is used and the other where sufficient water is used. So here you can see the various boiling processes, the boiling of rice, boiling of egg where there is excess water, and the boiling of potatoes where we use excess water. And here we are cooking rice, one with the excess water and the other with sufficient water. And what are the advantages of boiling? Boiling is the most simplest method of cooking, and it does not require any special skill or equipment. You can use any utensil, you can use any vessel for boiling the food, and it does not require any special equipment, and you don't require any special skill. Anybody can do the boiling method of cooking. Soluble starches can be removed and the rice grains are separated. While we cook the rice using the boiling method, but using the open pot boiling, the excess water that is used for cooking the rice can be drained and it can be used for some other purpose. Sometimes it is also discarded. So when we drain the excess water, the starchy portion of the rice, a little bit of the starch is removed, and therefore the rice grains are separated. Like we like to have the rice grains as separate grains while we prepare fried rice or when we prepare the variety rices like the tamarind rice or the lemon rice. So for such preparations, usually we prefer to cook the rice in the open pot and then we drain the excess water, which we call as kanji. And then it can be the grains that are cooked in this method, they are separate and it is used in particular preparations. Such grains are preferred for making certain preparations. The protein get denatured during the boiling process. Though the rice is starchy, though and the vegetables are starchy, they do contain a little bit of protein, right? So when the rice grains are boiled or when the egg is boiled, the protein that is present is denatured. Starch gets gelatinized. So this is the most important property. The starch grains are present in various food, including rice, dal, vegetables, etc. The starch grains, they absorb water, they swell, and they burst in the presence of heat, and they gelatinize. This process is called as gelatinization. The starch granules, they absorb water, they swell in size and they burst when they are heated. Okay, and this process is called as gelatinization. And the collagen present, particularly in meat and meat products, collagen is present. They are hydrolyzed. Hydrolysis is the addition of water, and a complex compound will be converted into a simpler compound. So the collagen is hydrolyzed. So these are the changes that takes place during the process of boiling. I will repeat again. The starch is gelatinized, protein is denatured, and the collagen is hydrolyzed. And there is uniform cooking in the boiling process. So when we cook the rice, we test whether the rice is fully cooked. We do not take every grain of the rice and check. We just take a few grains of the rice and check whether it is fully cooked. ஒரு பானை சோற்றுக்கு ஒரு சோறு பதம். So we check just one grain and we ascertain that all the grains are cooked. So there is uniform cooking possible in the process of boiling. But however, there are disadvantages also. There is loss of nutrients. So how does the nutrient get lost during the boiling process? If the excess water is used in cooking and the water is discarded, 30 to 70% of the water soluble nutrients like vitamin C may be lost. So in boiling method, I told you that there are two ways in which boiling can be done. One with sufficient water and the other with excess water. In case we are using excess water for boiling, maybe rice or dal or vegetables or whatever, and if that excess water is discarded, there are certain vitamins like the water soluble vitamins. The water soluble vitamins are the vitamins B and the vitamin C. They are soluble in water. So these vitamins dissolve in water, and if we are going to discard that water, then the water soluble nutrients are going to be lost. For example, if we are going to cook the rice by the boiling method in open pot, and if you are going to drain the excess water, which is nothing but the kanji, the water soluble nutrients, vitamin B like thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, they will be discarded in the kanji, right? We are not going to use the kanji and we are going to eat only the rice. So some portion of the nutrient has been lost because of this process of draining. Similarly, while cooking the vegetables, if you cook the vegetables in excess water and if you're going to discard the excess water, for example, if you're cooking green leafy vegetable and if you're going to discard the water in which the green leafy vegetables have been cooked, then there will be loss of B vitamins, and also the vitamins like the C vitamins will be lost. So what can we do? To prevent this loss, cooked water should be used in soups, rasam, sambar, or in the preparation of dal. So what can we do? If you are cooking dal, the excess water that has been used in the cooking of dal can be used in the preparation of sambar or rasam. Similarly, the water that has been used in the cooking of vegetables can be used in the preparation of sambar or rasam or soup, right? Similarly, the water that has been discarded in the boiling of rice can be used in preparations. Like there has been a habit of adding salt to the water drained from rice, the kanji. A little bit of salt is added, and it has been used as a beverage. It has been used by people around the world, particularly in Tamil Nadu. We add salt to the kanji and it is consumed. Sometimes there are people who add jaggery, coconut and cardamom to this kanji and they convert it into a kind of payasam. So these are various uses where we don't lose the nutrient. If you are going to utilize the discarded water, you will not be losing the nutrients. So these are some ways in which the water that is drained from the cooking of food in the boiling method can be used efficiently. There is also loss of minerals. When we cook the food in excess water, there will also be loss of minerals, which we call as leaching. That is, the mineral that is present in the food is lost when the excess water is discarded. Minerals such as sodium, potassium, and calcium are lost due to leaching. Loss of color is another disadvantage while boiling the food. Water-soluble pigment like betalin present in the beetroot may be lost. The pigment betalin is water soluble, and even when we cut the beetroot, the pigments stick on to our fingers and also to the knife. And when we wash the beetroot in water after they are cut, we may find even the water changes into the pink color. Therefore, the water soluble pigments, there are certain pigments that are water soluble like the anthocyanins and the anthocyanins, and they would be lost when they are boiled. When the pigments that are water soluble containing food is boiled, those pigments may be lost. Beetroot, therefore, should be cooked along with the skin in order to prevent the loss of color. Sometimes, when we cook the potatoes, the whole potatoes may be boiled, and after the potatoes are cooked, the skin would be removed. In a similar manner, if you cook the beetroot along with the skin and remove the skin of the beetroot, then we may find that the beetroot would have a very bright purple color. Otherwise, if we cut and boil the beetroot, the color changes may be there. They may change to brown color, or they may change to dark purple color because of the loss of the pigment. The boiling method is also time consuming. Boiling may take time, and it's a long process. Say, for example, when we cook rice in a pressure cooker, it may take at around 10 to 15 minutes for cooking the food. But if the same rice is cooked in open pot boiling method, it may take about 25 to 30 minutes for cooking the same rice. Therefore, boiling may take time, and also it uh, it uses a lot of fuel, and therefore the fuel is wasted. So as I said earlier, while we cook the rice in pressure cooker, it may take only 10 to 15 minutes. While it is cooked in the open pot boiling method, it may take about half an hour. So much of fuel will be lost during the process of boiling. Therefore, there is wastage of time and wastage of fuel. There is loss of flavor and texture of food. The boiled foods are not considered tasty because the flavor that are present in the food are leached into the water. They are removed while they are being cooked in the water, and therefore those foods are not that very tasty. And overboiling of food may make the food mushy. That is, they make the food very soft, extremely soft, and therefore there is loss in the consistency of the food. The next method is called as simmering. Simmering also is a moist heat method. And when the food are cooked in a pan with a well-fitting lid at a temperature just below boiling point, which is 82 to 99 degrees centigrade, or in the liquid in which they are immersed, the method is called as simmering. In boiling, the temperature of the liquid we used was 100 degrees centigrade. But here we are using a temperature that is below boiling point, 82 to 99 degrees centigrade. Therefore, here the temperature used is lesser than the temperature that was used for the boiling method. This process where the food is cooked at a lesser temperature is called as simmering. But here